friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade Not Hallmark. Today I've got this really fun Valentine's themed card with some non-traditional images from Fawn. I love how this cute card turned out. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is I wanted to get my background stenciled. So I've just got some Bristol cardstock here and I'm using picked raspberry, kitsch flamingo, and spun sugar distress oxide inks. And I'm also using a slimline cloudy border stencil from MFT to create my sky here. So I wanted to go for a kind of gradient look with the lighter pink at the top and it darkening as it goes down the card here. And I'm just speeding through this process. I'm just going back and forth with my inks, starting with the spun sugar and then moving into the kitsch flamingo and then finishing off with the picked raspberry. And I love the nice gradient of this. If I was to do it again, I probably would have just picked one color just so it stood out a little bit more, but I do like the way that it turned out. Once it dried back a little bit and it's nice and subtle, and I think next time I probably would have just picked one color and maybe the picked raspberry just so it stood out a little bit more. Next I'm going in with I think I did the kitsch flamingo, and I'm just adding a little bit of splatters here and there in the background just to add some interest. This is not a necessary step or anything like that. I was just trying to add a little bit of interest to the background. I was hoping that maybe I had a kind of love themed background stamp I could have stamped over it, but I didn't, but I think that would be a really fun idea. Next, I'm going to get right into my coloring. I chose the bats from FANGTASTIC Friends, and I stamped them down with some Copic-friendly ink, and I'm going to get right into my coloring. All the colors will be listed on the screen, and once we're all done, we'll come back and finish up together. Once all the coloring was finished, I used the coordinating dies to cut out all of these sweet little images. I love these little bats so much at Halloween that I really wanted to use them in another card theme, and I was going through my stash and I found a bunch of things that went really well together, and I felt like these bats were a perfect addition. I think any type of flying animal that you might have, stamped images, I think would be perfect for this kind of themed card. So if you didn't have the bats but you had some other flying critters, you could definitely use those for this card design. I'm going in with my gel pens here with my white and my black to add some highlights and details. This is again an optional step, not necessary, but something that I really like to do and I find fun. And I'm going to add that to the branch as well, just to add some interest and highlight to it. It kind of gives it a cutesy feel. And then I'm going to go in with my Wink of Stella brush and add a little bit of shimmer to the inside of the little bat's ears. I felt like this was a really cute addition. They looked so cute. I loved how they turned out. And then I don't have very many like gray colors of my Copics, but I felt like this was a really nice color combination with the pink. Now that my background is nice and dry, I wanted to add some more interest to the background, so I'm going in with the Just Stitching Hearts from Lawn Fawn, and I'm choosing the two smaller ones, and I wanted to add just some some subtle heart shapes in the background, and these worked out beautifully. You don't have to do the embossing kind of way that I did it, because all it does is adds embossing into it. But whenever I was practicing with these, I felt like it was etching them in too deeply. So I just decided to do them as kind of an embossed idea. So I'm using my embossing mat and my embossing plate with my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine here. And I'm going through and it adds the stitching, but it doesn't add it as deep. So it's a little bit more subtle. And I like that so much more than going in straight in with the dies. I felt like they were just too deep and really dark, and it just kind of threw off the whole idea that I wanted this to be really subtle in the background. So I'm just scattering these hearts around. I did 2 big ones and 3 smaller ones, and I just loved how this turned out. I'm definitely going to have to use this idea again with some other kind of love themed cards. You know, if I just want to have some hearts in the background and some more interest and texture, I think this was a really fun idea, and I can't wait to do it again. Once I had that all finished, I'm going to get my machine out of the way here, and I'm going to work on a few more elements. I'm going to work on my card base. I've got some ballet slipper cardstock from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to stamp on the inside of the card. I don't normally do this, but I just love these bats so much and the greetings that I just wanted to add something on the inside. So this is definitely a Valentine's card. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Valentine's Day. I'm more on the kind of, just loved theme in general. Love for a friend, love for anybody. So this is definitely a couples card, I think, or a significant other card. But I think if you changed up the greetings a little bit and kept the same design, you could change it into any kind of themed card. So I'm just taking a greeting from the Simply Celebrate Hearts from Lawn Fawn. I took the Sending Lots of Love, and I just cut it in half, or cut it where I wanted it so I could stack it. Doesn't hurt the stamps. You can use them the same way they were intended, and added one of the little bats from the same FANGTASTIC Friends on the inside. I felt like I needed to add a little bat on the inside because they're just so cute. And I'm stamping it down using the Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide ink that I used earlier. I didn't want to use black. I felt like it would look too stark against the pink, and I wanted to bring more of that color in to this card with that stamping. Once I had that stamped down and I had my stamps all cleaned off, I'm also going in with a couple of heart shapes from the All My Heart set from Lawn Fawn. This was their freebie that they had with their Valentine's release. It was, I can't remember how much you had to spend. I think it was like maybe $60, and it was like a while supplies last. And it was this little mouse with a bunch of hearts and a balloon, some really cute greetings. It was in my haul video. But I wanted to use some of the little heart shapes from it because I thought they were so cute, and I wanted to add some more hearts because it was a Valentine's card. And I just was loving the way that this card was turning out, and I just definitely had to add more hearts. So adding a few of those shapes here around our little bat, and I really think it rounds out the card, and I think it's just so cute. I love this so much. I'm not one for pink. Pink's not my favorite color, but I could definitely see doing this card in like blues maybe. I think blues would be pretty. Even greens or purples, any colors that you like. I think this card would translate really nicely into those color palettes as well. Gonna get my stamps put away here, and I love this set so much. I originally was gonna use this set, but I don't have any other like mouse images that have balloons yet. I plan on getting a few more Lawn Fawn sets. But I love how this is turning out. I think it is so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my cloud panel to my base with some Lawn Fawn liquid glue. And we can start working on some of the other elements that are going to go along with our card. Get that all adhered down here. And I love that it's just a nice thin frame of pink. Looks super cute. And I'm going to be using the Love die from Lawn Fawn. This is the SCRIPTY Love, and I think this is a wonderful sized die. It's not overwhelming, it doesn't take up the whole card, and I think it fit perfectly in my little scene. And I just used some raspberry cardstock from Lawn Fawn, and I stacked up my Love die cut 3 times to create a nice dimensional die cut. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, it is one of my favorite ways to add die cut greetings or sentiments, letters, anything like that, is I love to pop them up and give them some dimension instead of trying to fiddle or fuss with foam tape. Just gonna clean up some of my glue here just so it doesn't overrun. I mean, it dries clear, but either way, I love the way that it looked. And then I'm also going to create a secondary greeting. I took the Is in the Air from that same Simply Celebrate Hearts set. I just deleted or cut away the section that said Love is in the Air. Since I already have a nice big scripty love, I felt like it looked really cute all together. Love is in the air, and I just think it is so sweet. I love these little bats. I love that I brought them out for a different holiday because I typically would have just used them for Halloween cards. I really thought about using them for a Christmas card maybe next year because I think they would be so cute with little hats and carrying presents and maybe a string of lights to decorate something. I've got ideas. So I love these little bats. They are so cute. I'm just using some of the scrapbook adhesive foam squares to pop up my little bats because I wanted to add some dimension to them as well because I have to add dimension to them. I think they're so cute. I'm gonna get my little bats here. I think this would be a cute like shaker card too, if you really wanted to, or add some of those, what are they called? I think they're action wobbles on the little bat there on the top. I think that would be cute. Kind of give him a little wobble so he's kind of flying. I have never used an action wobble before, but if I had them, I would probably overuse them, and I put wobbles on everything because it's kind of a cute idea. Gonna get my branch adhered here. I had thought about doing a couple of branches just to kind of even out the whole scene, but I didn't really think about it until after I had it together. But I still like the way that it looks, this cute little branch sticking out here and our little bat couple on there. I tried to color the one bat a little bit lighter than the other so it looked like they may have been 2 different kinds, but again, I don't have a whole lot of gray colors. I've only got warm grays and a few cool grays, so I made it work. Next, I wanted to go in with some more finishing details. This is another one of my favorite things to do to dress up a card. I have these clay hearts, and there's lots of really pretty reds and whites and pinks, but I was going to use the reds, but they just weren't the right tone. It looks like they're okay here, but when I was really looking at it, it definitely did not match any of the other colors I had going on here. So I end up taking those off and going in with the white, but then the white blended in too much. So I'm not sure who I heard it from or where I saw this, but these clay embellishments, you can color them in with Copics or any kind of alcohol ink. And I wanted to try it. I did test it off screen before I committed to it, and it did work out really great. And I found one of my Copic markers that matched perfectly with my color combination here. I go in with R85, which is like a rose red, and I just went in and colored right over top of those little white hearts, and it was perfect. I was so excited that this worked out and that this technique, and again, I can't remember who I heard it from or where I saw it, but I was so thrilled that this technique worked out and how wonderful it looked and how perfect these little hearts matched. So now if I need matching hearts, I'm just going to go buy a bunch of white embellishments and I'm going to color them in. It worked out perfectly. I'm also going to go in with my Wink of Stella pen and add some glitter to my die cut. Again, as you know, I love doing that to my die cuts. It looks like glitter paper when I'm finished, and it's a lot nicer than, I don't want to say it's not a lot nicer than glitter paper, but I like it better than glitter paper. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some Nuvo crystal drops in Bubblegum Blush, a really pretty pink. Again, this worked out wonderfully. It matches really nice, and I just wanted to add a little bit more interest to the background, just to jazz it up, and plus I can't stop sometimes, but I think it turned out really cute. It just kind of gives that lots of love and fun going on in the background. And that will finish up my card for today. I really hope you enjoyed this card, this love-themed Valentine's card featuring some non-traditional images from Lawn Fawn, and I love how you can use them for any season, and I just love how this card turned out, and I hope you did too. Please consider hitting the like and the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Bye!
On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.